you try to be hard body whenever somebody say that you did something wrong when you don't even need to do that.
No.
Like, yo, for real, like you did something. All right, let me take responsibility. Some people can't. Some people have the inability to take responsibility for the things that they did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They will literally look at you and know they did wrong. They can have the blood on their hands and still say that they didn't do it because they have the inability to say that. All right, yeah, I messed up.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me, not for the time that I spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the
What's
chains.
going on,
I
world?
wasn't
Welcome back
made
to the
be
Dirty
a
Trump
player. I
Podcast
was
with an
made
elephant
to
as
be a
always.
player.
Welcome. My name is Aaron Mack. Here with me as always is let's go ahead and hold off on that, on going to that side of the table. I'm gonna start with Alyssa Ramirez.
Saving best for last.
For camera purposes, we're gonna go around the table. Of course, I got Marcus Morton over there, but before we show the camera, before we pan over to that side of the table, Marcus is there. Everybody, just hold on, just hold off tight, Marcus. He said, y'all hear him? All right.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, here today with us on the Dirty Trump Podcast for the very, very first time ever since the Dirty Trump Podcast has been a thing. This is episode 94.
Ooh.
94. This man has never been featured on the episode of the Dirty Trump Podcast, and today he has decided to bless us with his presence. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you for the first time ever on this show, Mr. Alex. Just Alex, aka Just Alex. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, sir. That is incredibly humbling. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man. You
feeling-
gotta edify the guest, man. You gotta like. All right, so let me
Could've brought
tell
a
you why
crown.
this. Let me tell you why this man is important to listen to on the Herb Surgery Podcast. Everybody think that Herb is Herb show, but the show would not be anything without this man here. This man asked the hard hitting questions.
Thank you.
I swear you like a undercover journalist or something. Like, I don't know.
Overcover.
Like overcover. like my man asked questions that I'd be like, yo, I gotta think about this. Like you put me on the spot like that. But you hear the talk, like you had a topic that I was like, all right, yo, I think this will be like a really good conversation. So we gonna go ahead and get into that. But let's go ahead and start off with a little banter, man. Like, how y'all week been, man? Everybody good? Everybody straight?
Man, I'm tired.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to take over the show immediately, but
you can.
Can I just say I was almost kicked out of my apartment yesterday?
Oh no! Yes.
Which kind of goes into the topic, but so this year been cool, but it's also been real stressful. Right, first time moving out on my own, learned a whole lot about myself and money and how much that I don't have.
Oh,
right. Thankfully, we just got a raise at the vanilla job, but still acting like I may live at home with my folks. You know what I'm saying? So I'm spending buying just dumb shit. Just real dumb shit. And so and they finally came home to roost yesterday where they gave me a call and was like, hey, kind of need that $800.
Oh no!
Yeah, today. So, I had to run home and, ask my folks, and thankfully they obliged.
Ooh.
So I owe some people some money now. Still.
All right, I mean, but you at least you ain't owe them from the backseat of your car.
Exactly.
So it's a
what I
win-win.
mean? I'm still, roof over my head.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Because that stuff kind of come back on you, man.
Yeah.
It come back on you in like the worst way possible. Like it hits your credit some kind of way. Don't nobody want to. They don't want to house you. Like you go and like apply for another spot. They look at it like, you got kicked out your last spot though.
Yeah.
Nah, we good. We good. Man, Mark, what's going on with you, man?
Man, not much. My girl, she went on a little trip. She went to go visit her folks down there in Baltimore. So, I've been having the house to myself. Alex almost got kicked out. One of my other half got kicked out. Well, she didn't get kicked out. She didn't kick out, but she left the house. So I'm flying solo.
So on one of our previous episodes, you said that once the togetherness they separate, a lot of stuff get done around the house. Is that the case this time?
Yes, sir. Clothes are getting washed. Clothes getting put away. She might come back and the house is totally rearranged.
but
ain't got nothing but time.
But it's two of y'all together. I figured it would go.
You think it would be a divide and conquer type of situation, but
do I need to know something before I move in with my situation? What do we?
You might, because we have very similar situations.
That's true.
We're gonna talk after the podcast, sir.
Oh man,
bro,
oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I find it weird though. It's like when Alyssa and I in the house together, like we're hardly ever in separate rooms, bro.
Okay.
And the house ain't small either. Like it's not like we gotta be like in the apartment. It made sense, but like we moved in here and I'm like, huh. It feels weird when I'm going in the kitchen. You coming?
How do you have 5 minutes separation anxiety?
I don't know what it is, man. It's weird. It's strange. I ain't figured it out yet.
How long have y'all been living together?
It'll be a year and like 2 months, I think.
Probably even like 2 weeks.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it is July.
I'm asking questions now. What have y'all learned from living together? I can't help it now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
microphone in my face. I ask questions.
It's his thing. I don't.
You go first.
I was about to tell you to go first.
One of y'all. Rock, paper, scissors.
I think for me the biggest thing is, for me, I've never lived with my significant other before.
Okay.
Similar to you, like this is my first time. I've lived on my own before, but never with a significant other.
Right.
And it's just, I think you have to find your own boundaries. You have to figure out like, okay, when is going to be my me time? When is going to be like my thing that I do on my own? What sort of things that you do differently than the other? So like, I'm really big on like having like a clean house, like laundry done, dishes done, this, that, and the other. And he's like, we'll get to it. Whereas I love him to death. You're just very not right-brained, and that's perfect because I am.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. I would say that like I've learned her a lot more. Like that, like it's been like the perfect thing. 'Cause like I've lived with my significant other before, so it's not like this is like completely new, but I'm learning things like as an adult. I'm just like, all right, so you can't do some of the things that you used to do as a early 20s young buck anymore. Like this is a situation that you got to take a little bit more serious. So yeah, like that's what I learned in this year.
Yeah, we can do a whole show on that, like doing what you can do in your 20s.
Oh,
God knows.
Yeah,
used to get up 4 a.m, drink a Monster Energy, and go straight to work. Nothing else.
I don't think I've ever been that bad.
Oh, man, yeah.
I don't know. Well, you know, a lot of coffee though,
and just went straight to work.
You a man.
Straight from a party, just went straight to
What?
I've done that.
I've
Yeah,
never done that.
Yeah, I swear to God, I've done that a few times.
Crashed like a mug.
So when that bachelor party that I went to, I think it was when Duran was getting married. We went up to Washington D.C.
that one.
And I got up like at 4:00 the next morning to drive down here to go to work.
Hell no.
Love.
Yeah. It was an hour drive too. I was like, I don't know how I made it.
You be slumped on a piece
I'm
of
the only
equipment.
home buddy.
Bruh, I was done. Yeah. So man, like I want you to go into the into what brought you to this realization, so we can like ease on into the topic of the podcast. Like,
Oh, okay.
What happened?
Well, can I say the topic and then we just go into it?
Absolutely.
Well, the topic that I had, pitched to y'all was basically lessons repeat until you learn them, right? So for me, it was twofold: the rent, but it's also kind of like looking at my personal relationships and like how I'll be in situations where, and I can take it back. This is like a romantic like relationships, right? When I was in school, I'd meet a girl, I'd tell my friends about her, then I see my friend with her.
Oh.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I want your friend, fam.
No, I understand that now. I understand that now.
That lesson hit clicked.
Yeah, but like in my head, I'm like, I didn't know no better. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't really care because we was all young or whatever. But like when you get older, you start developing like real feelings for people, and they still people doing that. It's like, oh,
Like, I've been there though.
Yeah.
I've definitely been there though. I ain't gonna say no names, but the girl, if you're listening to this, you trash, and I wrote that song for you. And you diss me in front of the whole gym. You trash, but
oh man,
I'm a lot better off now. What and to those lessons that we say we learn, like I've learned a lot about how to be a good person in my relationship from all of the failed experiences that I've had in relationships. Like that, like it's weird, and some people don't get those lessons, man.
yeah, but you don't even think about them. Sometimes it's just like, oh, I've been here before. I'm not doing this. I'm going down this road.
Right.
I've been down that road.
It's like, let me see what happens if I try this time, like instead of doing what I did last time.
Right.
Man, and it's crazy because like something happened at work, and I was just like, I thought like it was after we had this conversation about like what the topic was going to be, and I was talking to this guy at work, and he did something wrong. I mean, he was dead wrong, and I mean, I'm not going to go into a whole tangent about work, but like y'all know how some people are about people taking like longer than usual breaks. Like I've never been to a job where somebody was able to take a long break and nobody said anything about it.
Right.
Like especially if somebody come down on my head about somebody taking a long break, I'm like, I don't really care that much, but because you asking about it,
Right.
now I gotta go talk about it. And like I walked up to the dude and this is this ain't like a star player where we work. Like this is somebody who like average at best. He show up and he just does whatever and he disappears a lot. Yeah, he does a lot while he there, but he dropped the ball a lot.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, so I think I know how this conversation gonna go. So I said, you came up in the report. You did, it was about 36 minutes that you were gone, bro. Like, I don't know. People asking questions. I'm just trying to figure out if you good. Everything straight? My man just goes and cuss me out, bro.
Come on.
Yeah. Right there at the job. My man cusses me out. I mean, clean out. And like I was just thinking about it, like and he's like, y'all never tell nobody when they doing something right. Y'all never tell nobody when they doing something right, but let a motherfucker do something. Like you right here. I'm like, yeah, you right. How do you suggest that we move forward from this? And he didn't have an answer. Well, I concluded my own answer. I'm like, my man is upset because we don't give him praise when he does right.
Yeah.
But yet every single day he does wrong. But he never learns the lesson about him doing wrong and why we never give him praise about doing anything right.
Yeah. They kind of they circle around each other.
Yeah, bro, and it's crazy. Like, cause you watch people do this all the time, and like you can tell somebody till you blue in the face, this is what you should do. This is what I would do if I were you, and they'll look at you and be like, yeah, you're right. And then they go back and do the same exact thing, bro. Like,
Hey man, like I told you was it this morning? Hey, we ain't no job interview, bro. We arguing with people that ain't get the interview. They just showed up.
They just showed.
They passed the drug test.
It's Alyssa's fault.
Excuse me. This place would be running so much better if it was.
You are literally the first line of defense.
No.
And they get past you every time.
IRS. I've already said that we need to term half of them.
Oh man, it's
Call
crazy.
it James Harden. What are we doing? Oh man.
Oh man.
Mr. McMahon in there.
Yeah, don't let me be the only one talking about this because y'all know I could go a month with this whole conversation. Like, just don't let me get long winded, bro. This is like a thing for our podcast. Like, Mark just sit here and watch me just talk, and then like an hour later, he just like you get like wide eyed, like about to fall asleep on me. Just like, yo, my man is preaching. He's yelling at me for way too long.
Oh shit.
So, yeah, I'll tell you, bro. Ma, when the last time you had this that thought?
Realization.
That issue. When is
What are you hard-headed with?
a lot of things.
Oh, that's a good question. We go around the table with that one.
Oh man.
For real, sometimes it's more of like what I put off or like just
Procrastinate.
Ooh, yeah,
that's the worst.
I mean, most of the time is for the obvious reasons. It's like sleep. Usually I'll sacrifice sleep for like a number of reasons, and then still either not move forward or just like get less done than what I could have done with. But like not learning the lesson, I try to like learn lessons constantly. Even if it's at work, with other people's mistakes, I'm just like, all right, how can we like move past this or not do that again?
Yeah, you're pretty good about that though.
So it's kind of hard. Really, it would be something, you know, we kind of already talked about, being too trusting, or like being too nice, giving people that too much help when then like I need to cut back on that and let them like work it out on their own. Stop like spoon feeding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stop
that's it.
trying to
Especially
pull
at
them
work.
along.
Yeah.
So, all right, my therapist called it white knighting, but I hate that name. I hate that name.
God.
Yeah.
I hate
Why?
that name. Oh, cause it's like when you overly nice and you expect something from it, white knights. You know what I mean? You can apply it without the gender aspects of it, but
wow.
yeah, same shit though. But yeah, so that's what he was kind of saying. Like, cause me, and I don't think I do it all the time, but I probably have done it in the past where I've been nice and expected people to either be nice back or help me in the later, and they don't do it, and I'm like, the fuck? Why did I waste my time being nice to this
Bro,
motherfucker?
like, yo, I tried to make an ally out of you, and you just like straight up, just like, yo, f- that shit.
I think like at work, that's where a lot of my frustration comes in because I'm like a team player, and then like
Right,
people ain't trying to be
yeah.
on the team.
Right.
Yeah, I immediately thought about work when you said that. Like, because we got some people who just be like, you can help them like all day, and they'll look at you and struggle. They'll look at you struggling. They'll be like, deuces, I'm out. So yeah, like
5, 10 come up, they walking up.
facts.
Hey man,
bro.
hey man, it's time to go. That's the
5,
one.
10.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
20.
Or,
They used to
or
do it
the-
at 5,
the-
20.
I love this one when you got chaos going on and they just come stand there with their hands in their pocket, just talk to you.
Bruh.
So how
One
you doing?
of pissed me off one time. It was during one of our busier seasons. Chaos everywhere. People pulling product each and everywhere. My man's like sitting right outside his little workstation, just
yo, that's like
just
15
looking at
people
everybody.
that I can name right now that I know.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez, why
Some
so
of them,
many?
some of them are like management.
Yeah. Yeah.
I swear to God, they helping.
Oh man.
I told so and so go hit that. I don't know why he didn't do it, but I did my job.
I don't know why he didn't do that, man. Damn, that's crazy.
Woo. Put these gloves back in my pocket. All right, see y'all later.
Let me go to the store to get my popcorn.
Exactly.
Alyssa?
I am hard-headed as hell. I mean, this is kind of going back to what we were talking about before, like the number one lessons that we learned living together.
Mm-hmm.
I am hard-headed as hell to ask for help in it anytime, ever. Like, Aaron tells me all the time, like, what can I do to help? What can I do? How can I help? What is this? What is that? What are you doing? How can I help? What's the next step? What's this? And then I'm like, can you just not go somewhere?
Yeah.
Like, or I'll go that route, or I'll be like, no, I'm good. I'm just figuring it out. I'm fine. It's fine. I'll be like visibly stressed and he can feel it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, nope, it's just gonna like mess up if somebody does it outside of me. I have my own control issues. And just not wanting to take help. I don't know if it's just a past thing where if I ask for help, then people either don't do it the way that I want, or it turned out failed miserably, or
Yeah.
they
I get
did
that.
it only to be like the white knight syndrome of, oh, let me help you, but what's this thing that you're going to give me later in return?
Right.
So I think that I became jaded to
That's
it.
not white knight syndrome. That's narcissism.
He said
I
that
mean,
it's with the intent on getting something back.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I must have missed that part.
yeah, definitely.
Look who's the better listener.
I mean, that's
I mean,
So,
by
I
I
nature.
love you.
Is there a scenario where like you don't have any like intentions of something being returned, or
I mean, like it's honestly, right? Depending on the situation, I think it's one of those things you have to practice. Like for me, I think it is. I have to like in my head just be like, I'm just doing this out of the kindness of my heart,
Yeah.
instead of being like, man, I really hope they help me later on when I need it. If not, I'm gonna be really furious. You know what I mean? So
all right. So like, all right. How does one get into like a practice of like learning lessons? Because just as we learn how to study, we learn how to use like context clues and like decipher things, break things down to understand it. How do you get into a practice of learning lessons, like getting a lesson out of almost everything you do?
all right. So for me, and maybe just because I'm super nerdy and I pay attention to detail, like the obscure details, not the obvious ones. But like for me, it's sitting alone and just thinking about and replaying life shit that happened to me.
Okay.
And then like a situation will happen, say car accident. First time the cars didn't know what to do. Second time, you got to call this person, call that person, make sure they're good, and do
Right.
all this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's a muscle. It's kind of like what's it called?
Muscle memory.
Muscle memory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, because
I hate
I
you.
was sitting in my work environment, right? And I was doing work, and then I kind of zoned out, and I was like, I don't know how I got on the topic of muscle memory, but I was like, your brain's a muscle.
Yeah.
So wouldn't everything you remember be muscle memory? Because it's your
In theory.
brain remembering.
I mean, if you actively try to remember it. I think that
But
it's the
that would be
conscious.
muscle memory itself.
Maybe.
I think it depends on how much effort you put into remembering something.
I didn't eat any brownies before I came over. Before we had this conversation, so I don't know if I'm not sober enough to process this the right way.
So to answer, like I feel like answering your question right now, like, how does one get to the point where they like start to understand those lessons? Like, yo, you can't be afraid to actually learn it.
Yeah.
True. Admit you're
Like-
wrong.
Yeah.
Like admit you're wrong. Like that's what most people's biggest hindrance is that they can't admit when they're wrong. And like what I've noticed, and I don't want to like make it seem like it's a race thing. Like it always seems like we come back to a race issue because it's not. But males in general, like like we got these such strong egos, like. And I can bring it back to my man that I said I was talking to at work. Like, like you just you try to be hard body whenever somebody say that you did something wrong when you don't even need to do that.
Right.
Like, for real, like you did something. All right, let me take responsibility. Some people can't. Some people have the inability to take responsibility for the things that they did wrong.
Yeah.
They will literally look at you and know they did wrong. They can have the blood on their hands and still say that they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Because they have the inability to say that, all right, yeah, I messed up.
Yep.
I messed up. Like, that was my fault. Like, for real. Like, I've been in the situation where you were talking about the apartment. I'm thinking like 2 years ago, around this time, like 2018. I first like my first time having an apartment. I was good for a few months, but it was because tax money started rolling in. This extra money started kicking in.
Exactly.
We had mandatory overtime, so I had a little bit of extra money.
Exactly.
I started buying stuff that I thought I wanted, not the stuff that I needed. I was on my own, and bruh, like I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna just go ahead and get this stuff. I'll make it back. I'll make the money back before some other stuff came up. Had to make some other payments,
Dog.
and all of a sudden, I'm literally $18 short in paying the rent. $18 was all I had left. All I had left to pay for the rent, bruh. And I had to reach out to Rob Shad, man. I reached out to Rob. I was like, bruh,
Shout out to Handsome Rob.
I was like, yo, this is gonna be a weird request, bro. And I know where I fucked up at, so I don't need to have that conversation with you. But dog, I need to borrow $20, dog. Like I was straight up like, yo, I said in a Food Lion parking lot, and contemplating on sending a money order out, bro. Like, and I was like thinking about it. I'm like, yo, and the taxes of the money order threw me off because I had a certain number in mind that I knew I was going to end up paying, and it threw me off. And I'm like, yo, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, I was like looking at myself in the mirror like, yo, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, yo, I can't do this no more.
Exactly.
I'm a grown ass man living on my own. Like, and I'm trying to prove a point that I can actually survive on my own, because the reason why I even moved out in the first place or felt the urgency to move out is because my mom told me that you can't do it on your own.
All right.
Oof.
So for people to go through things and deal with it in the worst way possible, just to go through it again because they dealt with it the first time in the worst way possible, you are literally in a perpetual loop of putting yourself in bad situations.
Exactly. Out of spite.
Out of spite to yourself, though. That's the worst part about it, because you ain't doing it to nobody else.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That be getting me sometimes. How people you see it a lot of times with, like, I want to say females, but it could just be like people in like relationships after they get out of a relationship, like they will literally like put themselves at a hindrance because of like something that partner did in that relationship. Like, oh, I'm not gonna eat this because my partner used to love this, or I'm not gonna do this because my partner used to love this, and I'm just like, what are you doing?
It's crazy until you realize that thing triggers muscle memory, and it's painful. That person's not there anymore.
But isn't like, all right, I gotta ask, like,
or it can be painful.
I gotta ask, like, isn't that like a high level of immaturity though, to not be able to just process that and move on?
I mean, everybody processes emotions differently, bro. I can't. It might be immature to you, but I can't say it's immature in general.
Time heals all wounds. So, I mean, over time, I'm sure that it gets easier.
But so, like,
eventually you stop remembering what that person's face, voice, any of that used to look like.
Yeah.
Like, my ex, I hardly even remember his face, and I totally forgot his name the other day.
Big
And I was like, what was his name?
He made a huge impact, huh?
I was with him for 5 years. Jeez. 5 years off and off. No, yeah, I meant off and on, but off and off sounds better. More accurate.
I'm gonna start using that. Like, wait, don't you off and on?
Pretty sure on. And then
Double off.
You know how when you go to hit the switch, but you thought you hit the switch, but you didn't, but it made the click sound, but it never came on. That's it.
That's the off.
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, time does heal all wounds, and eventually you just, I mean, for the longest time, I could never listen to Ed Sheeran, Sam Smith, all those things that I used to absolutely love. And then I was like, but now I remember that I can have those songs with Aaron, and I have all these great songs that I can remember. And
but it's no wonder though if y'all ever been really in love, y'all two.
I'm 25.
Oh hell no! Hey, before Alyssa, I can't imagine. No, I feel like I don't feel like it like there's ever been a feeling like that.
Yeah,
like like it didn't exist before. Like I thought I felt it.
Yeah.
But I was also young. So I was also in my early 20s, thought I knew what I wanted. So yeah, I don't think I did, bruh.
Okay.
I was like, bruh, when I found out, I never told you the story.
Yeah.
I don't think I did anyway, of like why I left my ex. But bruh, when let's just say she did some stuff that when I found out, I was excited. Cause I was like, yo, I got a reason to go now.
Damn.
But like for real, so we get back to the point, the topic. I'm gonna go back to, because you said time heals all wounds, right?
Yeah.
And this is like the mistakes that people keep making, right? So so can y'all agree when I say that some people, because they are grieving something, make the same mistakes as well?
yeah.
So there's 7 stages of grief, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
7 stages of grief.
Yeah, pretty sure.
But people, and y'all say everybody grieve different. But at some point, you get to stage 7 and the grieving is over.
Yes.
But over what time period?
But if you never allow yourself to get to that point,
I mean, yeah.
If you don't allow yourself to go through all the stages, you get stuck in it.
Yeah.
So That's why I asked the question about a level of maturity.
I mean, yeah, sure. And I mean, and once again, that comes back to lessons learned. Like until you get to the point where you say, fuck it, I'm grown, or I'm tired of living like this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to do it. Mm-hmm. Especially if that's all you've known is meet this person, shitty relationship, y'all off and off. And then y'all finally break up, and then you meet somebody new, probably whatever time period, later, and then it repeats because you never either took the time to say, hey, that person was cool, but this is what I didn't like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm guilty of that too. Because I kind of, from my last relationship to this one, it wasn't that much time, but it's so much different. Like,
Right.
it's so much different. Like, it's consider it on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? She's also like older than my ex, but like, you know how I was saying, like, I kind of give with the expectation of like recoup with reciprocation.
Reciprocation.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, it's that, but it's also just giving because it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel that.
On both ends.
I feel
Just
that.
because it's Tuesday.
I think a part of it is that you have to, and I might just be speaking for myself, but it involved me hitting a wall that I was like, you know what? I'm either going to have to accept whatever I'm wanting to fight with and whatever inability that I have to just trust other people to help me.
Mm-hmm.
That it got to the point that I was just so stressed out that I was like, okay, I can't take on anymore. Like, I can't think straight. I can't sleep. I can't do this. I can't do that. And I think that sometimes it just takes that for somebody to finally realize, oh, maybe I am screwing up here, and actually do something about it.
Was that why you almost died trying to get the chairs out of the garage earlier?
No.
Oh, that's a whole story. But can I before you go into the story? All right. So, oh God, my therapist will be proud. Hear me out, right? Let me introduce a small trust exercise to both of y'all, right? Since you have like kind of like issues, I guess, trusting him to like.
Luckily, I've gotten a lot better.
You got a lot better. Okay.
Yeah. Ish.
I didn't know there was a trust issue.
It's not like it's not a
First
like
time I'm
a you
hearing about
specific
it.
thing. It's not a you specific thing. It's a her thing, really. But anyway,
It's a control issue on
Yeah.
my side thing.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, what I was gonna say, right? My therapist would be like, why don't you be like, give him something small to do where it's like he's still helping you, but it's not like if you mess up, it's like you don't really.
Thankfully, somebody already told me that when I started doing it.
Okay. Oh, you didn't know?
What?
Right?
Sorry.
You've been
Damn it! I
I've
probably
been
should
getting
have.
played, bro.
No, man, it's not. It's helpful.
feel like a-
toyed with. And
It's helpful.
That's how you do kids, man. Like
Well, yes,
I'm
actually,
just prepping to be a mom. It's
do
fine.
that too, but it's also helping her inner child. So yeah, therapy.
feel so disrespectful.
It's not, dog. Don't remove your ego from it. Remove your ego, dog.
No, I'm good, man.
That's another thing that kind of goes along with like learning lessons, and then a lot with what you said. That pride.
Oh yeah.
Would you count that as having like a healthy pride level to where, all right, I did something and I'm tired of like it happening again. I'm tired of being at this level. So why don't I level up, do what I need to do, self-reflect and level up.
I mean, well, you would hopefully get to that point before you get upset about it, right? You would do it like as it's happening, so it's not a blow up. You know what I'm saying? So you would kind of people. We don't really get the chance to do this in real time to be like, oh, that was shitty or that was good. Let me reassess. What did I like? What did I didn't like? You know what I mean? Like it usually takes when you have to stop. Usually not on your own. Something made you stop and say, damn, I'm fucking up.
Yeah.
True.
You know what I mean? So
The difference of like Vegeta versus Goku.
yeah,
Like I'm being real. Like yo,
That's real.
like Goku's pride. He's like, all right, cool. I don't want to fight this person until I get their full power. Vegeta like, let me show you my full power. And these motherfuckers, they end up in the same situation every single time. Every time they fight somebody, Goku always end up bringing the worst out of everybody. So they end up almost dying because of that. Vegeta like, all right, let me power up and show you what I can do. And then he end up getting everybody almost killed because of that. Like, yo, and they do the same thing every single time. And that's their trope. That's literally their
Goku's
trope.
curiosity and Vegeta's pride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So healthy level of pride, yeah, I mean, I guess.
I mean,
But like, you got to be able to be coachable in the pride too. Like, you got to be able to understand that. All right, let me put my pride to the side and listen for a 2nd.
Right.
I was gonna say that's having, because then that would be heavy. Having too much pride, well, having pride or dealing with pride, it's kind of like a double-edged sword.
Off and off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because like we were saying, you would have to at some point put it to the side and be like, all right, I need help here. I either need to seek help from somebody outside this relationship or outside what I'm doing. Maybe I need to reach out to a finance advisor, or relationship coach. Somebody to figure this out.
Google.
No, don't call Google. Don't call Google.
Google can give some good tips on like how to save or fix credit or things like that.
I mean, yeah, like with like
health related ending cancer. Everything. My toe hurt. Toe cancer.
Nah, they say the feet that is connected to a lot of different parts of the body. You got your toe hurt, brain cancer.
Dog.
Well, no, like for real, like to that point, like don't get on Google and try to figure it out yourself. Like a lot of people, and we talk about this, like you're getting off your own planet. You can't understand something outside of you with the understanding that you have inside of you. So like it comes with like us getting his house.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to buy a house. Had no idea what the fuck we were supposed to do to buy a house. What did I do? I went to Google. How do you buy a house? What did I do? What steps do I need to take to buy a house? It gave me a bunch of convoluted answers. It always give you a bunch of convoluted answers. You they give you the top branded one, the SEO one, and then you get a list of a whole bunch of different forums. You might get somebody's random ass website. Hey, you dig a little bit, you dig too deep, you might end up getting random ass phone calls from numbers that you ain't never seen before in your life. But I'm like letting you know, like all the research that I did, we did weeks and weeks and weeks of research on how to get financing for a house. I didn't get any of the answers that I needed until I actually picked up the phone and called somebody and said, "Hey, look, I need assistance. How do I do this?" Bruh, we ended up getting financed in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Literally 2 minutes. Like it was like a 2-minute phone call. This is what I'm gonna do. Let me send you this. Fill this out, bruh. And I wasted so much time trying to figure out how to get the answer when I could have just reached out to somebody who had it.
Yeah. Bruh, like we don't, and this is, well, I don't want to get super religious, but we always seek the answers like from without, and it's always within.
Yeah.
Always
Every single time, man.
Like,
so I am gonna get a little religious.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
So
amen, hallelujah.
I remember a while back, my preacher used to always, not necessarily always, but I remember this one lesson he was trying to teach that all the lessons we go through, the problems, it's all a test, a trial, or whatever, and we already have the answers to them, but we always try to either figure it out on our own or make up our own answer. But all it is looking outside yourself, and just asking for help. Like it's an open book test. Why are we failing it? Basically. That's all I got.
I mean,
Hard stop.
You stop.
I mean, I don't know, because the Buddhist principles and Christian principles are different. Like Buddhism is pretty much all within.
Like every answer.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, even like meditating and stopping, right, is just like slowing down to like think is that's where like a lot of my stuff comes from. Like, when y'all was having problems with the podcast earlier on or later, like last year, I was like, maybe y'all should slow down. You was like, nah, we gonna keep going. But I was like, man, slow down a little bit, reassess, figure out what everything is, where everybody's at with it, and then you come to a conclusion that you know what I mean, that you like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And we ended up following that advice. We just never stopped.
Yeah.
We just kept going. And I'm glad we were able to be strong enough to keep going.
And that's cool too. There's nothing wrong with that. But, it's just a different
different viewpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, a different perspective. Yeah.
So, and I'm not a Buddhist, but I do like that way of thinking.
Yeah.
Buddhism is like something to follow. Like I know a lot of celebrities are kind of like going over to Buddhism because they're tired of the controversy that comes with let's not go
with
there.
other top religions.
Yeah.
Let's not go there.
It's a lot to it.
Yeah, man. And it's fun.
Let's talk about steps that we're taking to overcome our hard-headedness.
Good segue.
Oh man. Like for me, right? I'm gonna stop spending money on comic books. Yeah. I'm gonna stop. What?
I would just say, like,
What?
just spend it more wisely. You know, maybe.
Because man, they come out every
once
week.
a month.
They come out every week, right? And it's like
Wait a week and maybe they'll drop in price.
Yeah, too.
maybe.
Smarter, not
not a
harder.
Is that a thing?
Not
the
really.
comics?
No, not really.
Really?
I mean, like for graphic novels, maybe, but not distinguished. They actually go. They be going up in price.
Oh.
Not all the time. But anyway, right? So I love Superman. Y'all know this, right? And then there's like 4 Superman books, and they all like $5, and it's like $20, and that's just $5. So I also like Marvel, and then there'll be like 4 Marvel books, and they're all like $5. That's another 20, and that's just one. That's just 1 week. That's $40 gone. Yeah, that sound effect.
Yeah.
So I just gotta. I think I'm gonna just have to stop.
All right, man. We gonna have to just figure out a way to make more passive income so you can afford comic books, bro. That's the only explanation I got. That's the only way I see this working.
It's all right. I'm just wait till they become movies.
That's fair.
Yeah, I just
That's
watch it on
fair.
Disney Plus.
No, I'm just like I feel you on that. Like I'm the type of person like I just like how do I find a way to afford that? Let's figure that out.
I mean, but yes, right. But then it's like, do I need it? Really?
Yeah, my vice is food though. Yeah, I'm like
I was just about to say, you never gave the thing that you're hard-headed about.
Yeah. You asked.
Nobody asked me a question. Nobody asked.
Go ahead.
I don't know.
Come on, love. You had the entire time to think about it.
I wasn't thinking about it. Nobody asked me. I thought we were done with it.
First thing that comes to mind.
I would say my limits. Pushing my limits. Like I have a really hard time like finding that limit. And like Marcus said something about like staying up too late for whatever reason. Like I do that all the time. And it always it always plays out like goes against me. And like what I realized recently, like I used to like stay up late trying to write, and what I noticed is like that works. That's a lot less effective than me just getting up early, going to sleep, and getting up early and write in the morning.
Yeah.
So like that's one of my biggest things is like figuring out figuring that out, as well as there's another thing. Lessons in humility. I've been learning a lot lately.
I'll talk about that.
Yeah, bro. Like, I've been coached recently by somebody that we all know. Very angry person. Yells a lot about just name it. But yeah, like she pulled me to the side and was like, cause she gave me a compliment, which was already fucking weird in of itself. And like, I was like, yeah, it could have been better. I mean, I fully thought that. Like, she pulled me to the side and was like, don't ever do that again. Somebody give you a compliment, you take that shit. What if a manager said that shit? Would you have said the same thing? And I was like, I mean, I really thought that, there was room for improvement. I didn't think it was no big deal. And she was like, no, that's the wrong attitude. You stand in front of, like, anybody give you a compliment, you take that shit. And I thought about it. I'm like, oh, she might be right. I don't know if I can argue with that. Because I can think about it. I remember Alyssa said it once. I remember my last manager said it once. I remember Herb said it multiple times.
Yeah.
I remember you said it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this might be an issue that you have.
But like that's hard for me too, though. I don't take compliments well. It's hard, dog. But it's It's a self-worth thing. I'm really getting my therapy back.
Oh,
My
yeah,
therapist
man.
is so
Dig in it, man. Dig in it.
Damn. Yeah, that's a self-worth thing though, right? Because you hearing good stuff about yourself, and then your mind or whatever is like, nah, what the fuck are they talking about? They crazy. Yeah. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
can do better. Either because you know you can do better, or because your brain or whatever your personalities won't allow you to accept that good shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Is that like the same thing as imposter syndrome?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, yeah. I felt like they went in the same bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ties together, and it may be due to perfectionism, any number of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I had a interview recently, and this what really sparked it. And what day did I have that interview?
It was a Friday.
Last Friday? No, it was last Wednesday. Wednesday.
It was a Wednesday.
Yeah, it was last
Yeah.
Wednesday. I had an interview, and guy was talking about the book, and I'm just like during the entire conversation, I'm like, yo, I don't know this dude, and like we're like talking about my book. He's asking questions about my book. Wait, my book? Like, hold on, what?
Yeah.
Like, yo, and like I had like this outer body experience for a second. I'm like, yo. And you gotta sell this. You gotta sell this. You gotta sell this conversation. Like, there's no way you can sit back and play this humility card. Like, you can't. Like, and I know, and like it was almost like this itch that I wanted to scratch. Like, just like kind of put it out there. Like, yeah, no, it's not all that serious. Like, it just kind of it is what it is. Kind of
Just another Tuesday.
Right? Like
Writing a book.
And I couldn't say nothing. So
I mean, but it's one of those things where, how do you feel when you first wake up, right? You feel like the shit, you feel dope, and then you go out in the world and motherfuckers tell you you're not dope all the time. And then eventually you start to believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause that's what happened to me.
That's definitely my childhood, but I definitely don't feel like
But you carry that into adulthood. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that. I feel that.
So
We can all learn from this conversation, I guess.
like, bro, like the reason, and like I like a lot of like motherfuckers with big egos or big personalities. My therapist was like that. Like, and I didn't listen to it at the time, but like it's a self-esteem boost, right? Like I look up Superman. Superman is dope. You know what I'm saying? This guy
he ain't
like
got no
being,
worries.
Yeah,
No worries.
you know what I'm saying? Like Kanye was like my favorite rapper at one point. You know what I'm saying?
Because of that?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because people telling me he ain't shit. His ego is like outsized. Thinks he's a god or whatever. Like, and not so much that part, but like there is some motivational, aspirational aspect to it of being told you aren't and then proving them wrong. You know what I'm saying? Either it's out of spite or just because you believe in yourself that much. You know what I mean? And people say you're delusional, but like if you prove it time and time again, am I? Am I?
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's
You know what I
deep.
mean? You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z, he saw the million records a billion times. Like, he's dope. You know what I mean? Like, you can say whatever you want about Camel Face, how to get Beyonce, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the numbers don't lie.
They don't.
They don't. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's how I felt about the legacy that I wanted to leave with my book. So I'm not trying to get into the whole thing about the books again. Like we feel like we hit that nail. Let me write another book and we'll talk about it a little bit more. But yeah, like I feel what you just said about that. Like the numbers speak for themselves, and I'm just that kind of person. I'm just like, yo, let me accomplish something first, and then I'll come back to you.
True. But I think you got to walk into a room knowing that it's coming.
Oh yeah, you got to see it first.
You
You
know
got
what
to
I'm
see it to
saying?
believe it.
Like, I think that's the thing too about Kanye, because like people were saying this, but he knew what he had coming. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Jay-Z knew what he had coming. You know what I mean? Underneath the Clark Kent is, the cape and the S curl. You know
Still trying to figure out how he fit that cape on them clothes, fam. Like that shit.
I don't know.
That shit ain't real.
It's tucked in somewhere.
He must got like the capsule joint. Just
Maybe. Yeah, about to say. Might be in his hat. I don't fucking know.
yo, you know what? Like I didn't think that shit was real. Like people like when people take their glasses off and you don't recognize them, but until like this shit happened to me recently.
Yeah.
Like one of like our coworkers came to work with no glasses on and a different hairstyle, and I was like, who the
I
fuck
was
is
about
that?
to say she also had makeup on.
Who
And
the
she
fuck
walked different. It was a completely different
I
vibe.
was like, who the fuck is that? Yo,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. When a coworker told me, he came up to me like, "Yo, why is she so fine today?" I was like, "What?" I was like, "Go away,
No.
bro! Like, what are you talking about?"
No.
I was like, "Man, I'll tell you off air who it was."
Oh,
That shit was
god
funny, man.
damn. Yo,
Came up to, I
damn.
was minding my own business. I'm wrapping a pallet or something, and he's just, "Yo, why is she so fine today?" I was like, "Hey, buddy, go get her out of here!
the fuck outta here.
Talk to her then, damn."
Working.
Motherfucker, what? Yeah. All right, man. You know, this has been a interesting conversation, man.
Are we done
I
already?
love it. Yeah, we going on that. We going on that hour. So we're not gonna drag it out for too long because you know, y'all these bozos came in late and stuff. You
Hey,
know,
man,
they had
it's
to take
raining.
the
Look,
tour.
Hey, dog, tell
That
them
is-
that it's raining outside.
All right,
It's
yeah.
downpour.
So, like, speaking of, like, this
It's
is
a
the second.
tropic storm.
I think
over
this
our
is the
heads.
second time in the history of Dirty Trump podcast that we recorded a podcast in the middle of a hurricane.
This is second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What was the?
2019, we recorded in the middle of another tropical storm,
So
hoping that the power didn't go out.
Yep. I
Yeah,
remember that
see?
day.
You wanted us to rush here. You know what I mean?
Bruh, like I'm trying to figure out like why people be like it was
Hazard lights
bruh,
pulled off to
I
the
feel like
side
it
of the
was drizzling.
road.
I feel like it was drizzling
I
outside.
mean, it won't rain
And
that
folks-
bad.
It won't, but at the same time,
Alex,
It could have.
do you drive in the rain with your hazard lights on? I had to know.
He does.
I don't.
All right.
You paused too long.
I don't. Because I had to make sure I heard him correctly. Yeah, no, I don't.
I'm trying to figure out why people do that.
It depends. Like if it's a downpour where like I can't
I
see
was
in
about
front
to
of
say,
me,
yeah.
I can't
That's
see
the
at
only
least
time I
2
would
feet
do
in
it.
front of me, I'll turn them on. Like there was one time when I was working at McDonald's, me and my homegirl, we both worked there at the same time. I'm in a truck, she's in a car, she's behind me. Well, she was in front because we was racing to work.
That's not the point.
And then all of a sudden, like it just dropped at like it just pouring. Like I couldn't see. So she pulled off to the side. I put my hazard lights on. I was like, "Hey, we still got to get to work. Like, let's go."
So
That was the only
all right.
time.
So are people out here thinking that they can see like hazard lights better than brake lights, like tail lights?
I mean,
Is that-
it's you would want to have lights flashing so you know that there's a car in front of you.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, but I
instead
can
of
still
not
see.
knowing until you get there and then they break. Then
But
you're
they
like,
still
"Oh
have the
shit!"
running lights. You can still
Yeah.
see them. You
I
don't have to
mean-
wait until they break.
Hear me out, right? And maybe I'm just taking the deep human side of it. Maybe it's like a safety blanket. Maybe they feel safe with they has on.
That's too much energy.
I understand.
thought into that.
I know. Hey man, look.
Too much.
Man, look. This is what you get. I got the deep journalism brain on. I'm looking at the other car. Man, they look real worried in there. That's why they probably got them on. I've never really thought that
No,
much
people
in my life.
people just
but
can't drive in general though. Like
Also true.
yeah, like and Alyssa has this theory that Virginia drivers can't drive.
They
Might,
can't.
they might be the worst. They might be the worst.
But I'm from Virginia though. Like
I
I
already
am
told
too.
you why you're different. You've driven trucks. They can't drive something with just 4 wheels that's close to the ground, won't flip.
It's like a patience issue too, cause like ain't nobody patient for whatever reason. Like we all leave like 5 minutes before we got to be where we need to be,
true.
and then for whatever reason we stop to get something to eat, so now we late,
Oh.
and so we just rush now.
Oh man, that's hilarious. That's so true. I mean, I don't do it, but
That's another lesson to be learned. Always leave because my father instilled in me. Always leave. Like give yourself an hour window or at least 30 minutes.
That's
30-minute
long.
window. It has.
See,
gotten
I will
me through-
always be on time to everything if I can control it. If not early.
I used to be like that.
shots.
Yeah, same. I used to
be
get
like
up
That's
at like
another
4,
difference
get
about
to
us,
work
but
at
I
like
love you.
6, wait in the parking lot, maybe take a nap.
I ain't
might
never
be in
done
at
that.
7.
I used to do that when I worked at Target. I can't.
Yeah, when I had an hour drive to work, I used to do that.
I used to wait, but
Like 45 minutes, 30
Yeah.
minutes, no cops.
yo, if I lived across the street from our job, I would be there late every day,
Facts.
every single day, on purpose.
Just for the sake that you don't want to come. Just like,
Well rested, scratching.
So people know I ain't want to be here. I ain't have to be.
No,
Oh man! All right, ladies and gentlemen, This has been the Dirty Trump podcast. Thanks once again for our guest Alex for getting on here with us, man. Let the people know where they can find you at.
You can find me on Instagram at Just Alex. Oh, I gotta look it up now. It's Just Alex. Oh my lord.
Just Alex YGM.
Yes. How do you know it? I don't know it.
Because I've been meaning to ask you for the longest time. What the hell does YGM stand for?
Okay, so at one point I was thinking about converting over to Muslim. It was standing for Young Gifted Muslim.
Oh,
Yeah.
got you.
But yeah, Just Alex YGM. Thank you.
All right, yeah, all right, dope. Marcus.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, like learn from your
How
mistakes.
come we ain't do no Boss of Falls? I came on the show to do a Boss of Falls.
Oh,
tonight.
Oh, you got
You
a
wanna
boss of
do it?
I don't. I thought one of y'all had one.
Oh nah, man.
Come on, Marcus.
All right. So,
How y'all put me on the show and ain't do the whole show?
what's a good boss of fall?
Oh, we haven't
little
done a boss
rusty.
of false in a while though.
We did one last episode.
I ain't trying to make the show
The
run
last
too long.
boss- the
Y'all,
last
it's okay.
Boss of
I
False
can
was
come
cool
back.
with it.
I can come back, but if I come back, we gotta do a Boss of Falls.
You need to come back. This was a good conversation.
Yeah,
It was.
It was. I try not to get too deep into the conversation. You know, try not to do my reverend thing.
No, you was preaching, man. That's okay.
It could have been a lot worse. I promise you. It has been.
Mark says the eyes didn't glaze over this time.
I once did a whole 40-minute rant about something, and
Oh, that's the kind of shit I need to hear. What episode was this? Tell me right now.
all of them.
Okay.
Hold on.
This one time. Yeah, all of them.
No, that's that kind of shit I'm talking about. Yeah.
You just need to become a regular.
I don't want to kick nobody off the table.
Oh no. Mm.
Exactly.
Nah.
Exactly. See what I'm saying?
We could get an extra seat.
How that's gonna look?
I got
You
it.
ever see the sitcoms where nobody sits their back to the table? They literally, I watched The Parkers
We
yesterday.
can move this.
A character went and grabbed a chair from another table, even though it was a chair right at that table. TV rules are
It
dumb.
doesn't sound like we have a boss of false.
Nah,
man.
I couldn't think of one on the spot.
That's false right there, but it's okay. Sorry.
It's okay next time. We
Yeah, man, you
promise.
kind of caught us with our pants down, man. Like I said, we haven't done a boss of false in a while. I think last time we did a boss of false, Marcus asked me, "Is it a boss or a false move for
Walmart. Was it Walmart?
Yeah, it was Walmart.
Yeah.
All right. Can I ask one more question? You want to show for
Yes.
I just
Go
want to
ahead,
ask
go
one
ahead.
question. All right. Say you this is morbid, but say you passed away for real. What do you want your legacy to be? Like other people when they talk about you, what do you want them to say?
Oh, you should have this rehearsed by now.
Oh man, wow. I don't know. That's good or bad.
He bought Legends to life. He bought Legends.
He's really on the pitch.
He bought Legends to life. Like
That's dope. Yeah. Fair enough. You?
That I made a difference in the world somehow. I don't know.
you do know. You just said it.
I don't know how specifically I'm going to make an impact, but just
You will.
knowing that I made an impact, that would be great.
You did.
I haven't. Jesus. Why you put me on the spot like this, Alex?
You were the
can
third
answer.
one.
I can answer.
Do
if
it.
If you want to be last, it's fine.
All right, I'll be last.
Okay.
Since
I
I'm
just
in the corner.
I don't have nothing specific to say. I just want people to when they talk about me, they smile and they laugh. I just want good memories when
Yeah.
people talk about me. So
I love that.
Okay.
I never wanted anybody to like. I never wanted to pass away
Mm.
and have an empty funeral.
Yeah.
I
Like
don't-
that scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Like
wanna-
I think I might be afraid of that more than death. So
I'm coming with you either way.
That would be sad.
True.
No, I just want somebody to say I owe him money. That nigga was cool, but he owed me like $5 right now.
I will do a eulogy at your funeral. Hopefully, no time soon.
Yeah, hopefully
And say that you owe me money.
Come on, Marcus.
Just want to make people happy. That's about it.
I like it.
That's
Yeah.
legit.
People remember me.
That's
Just
legit.
smile. Yep.
This was a good talk, folks.
It was.
I love this. Let's do this again sometime.
Yeah, man.
Preferably next week at Tuesday mornings at 3:00 a.m. Let's go ahead and the Dirty Trump podcast. You can hear it here, folks. Preferably on Spotify. I would love to record the podcast that early, but
Yeah, that's why I was like,
I was
whoa.
about to
You
say,
guys do not. Y'all are not morning people.
You
Hold-
said 3 in the
hold.
morning?
Oh.
Yeah, that's when the podcast.
Oh, okay. I was about to say because nobody's up at that early trying to record a podcast. I hope.
He would if I let him.
I'd be like,
nigga, what? Okay, all right.
let's do this.
All right. So this has been Shame, Aaron.
No.
You gonna get the sleepy voice the entire episode.
Sleepy
How y'all
voice,
doing?
drooling on the
Sleepy
mic.
voice.
The sleepy voice. Yep.
That just
right
sounds
here.
more like the Midnight Storm voice.
That's exactly what
Midnight
you're gonna
Storm.
get.
You never heard of Midnight Storm? It was like this like radio station joint that used to come on back in the day, where it's like this one guy would get on there, like, "Hello, ladies and gentlemen."
Oh yeah, they play that smooth R&B.
Midnight Storm. Grab your ladies, sit back on the couch, and grab you a nice little glass of
I
champagne.
used to hate that shit when I was a kid. I'd be like, my mom would be listening to me, turn this shit off.
Like, yo, like, how we gonna get hyped to this? Like,
You not.
oh,
You ain't got no Montel Jordan? What are you doing?
all right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Dirty Tron Podcast. My name is Aaron Mack. That is Marcus Morton. He is Alex, and our lovely Alyssa. And we will see you on the next one. Peace. Love y'all. See y'all next week.